Learn English to Gujarati connectors, although, meanwhile, simultaneously and.
બીજી તરફ.
Welcome to the connector circus. Hey, you're about to learn some powerful little words that glue thoughts together. And yes, we'll do it with rain, tea, drama, and one unbelievably confused squirrel. Welcome, language adventurer. Today you will meet two ways to say, although,
છતાં કે,
and.
જ્યાં કે,
You will also practice, whereby, as.
वो भी.
Especially since, as.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
Meanwhile, as.
દરમિયાન.
On the other hand, as.
બીજી તરફ.
Simultaneously, as.
એકસાથે.
And, indecisive, as.
અનિર્ણાયક.
Tiny words, huge power. Although the rain, we still go. Let's start with contrast, because every good story needs a problem and a stubborn hero. Today, that hero might be you with an umbrella. Use.
છતાં કે.
For, although. Example.
છતાં કે વરસાદ પડી રહ્યો હતો, અમે બહાર ગયા.
Although it was raining, we went outside. Another form is.
જ્યાં કે.
Example.
જ્યાં કે તે મુશ્કેલ છે, હું પ્રયાસ કરીશ.
Although it is difficult, I will try. Funny image time. A cat announces, I hate water. Then.
છતાં કે.
It jumps into a puddle like a tiny furry action hero. Memory trick. Hear the contrast first, then the action. Obstacle first, victory second. That is the job of.
છતાં કે.
And.
જ્યાં કે.
Meanwhile, chaos in the kitchen. Now let's move into time words, where two things happen at once and nobody is fully in control. Honestly, this is just called cooking. The word for meanwhile is.
દરમિયાન.
Example.
દરમિયાન, મેં ચા બનાવી.
Meanwhile, I made tea. Another example. She studied.
દરમિયાન.
Her brother played outside. Two events, same general time. One studies, one avoids studying. A classic family tradition. For, simultaneously, use.
એકસાથે.
Example. They started speaking.
એકસાથે.
Which is also how meetings become long. Quick contrast.
દરમિયાન.
Is, meanwhile, while.
એકસાથે.
Is, simultaneously. One is during the same period. The other is at the same exact moment. On the other hand, tea versus coffee. You can't learn contrast without a dramatic comparison. So naturally, we must discuss the ancient conflict of tea and coffee. Use.
બીજી તરફ.
For, on the other hand. Example. I like tea.
બીજી તરફ.
My brother prefers coffee. No family is ever fully prepared for this kind of division. Another example. The first plan is cheap.
બીજી તરફ.
The second plan is faster. Think of the phrase literally as the other side. You present one idea, then turn your mental head and show the other one. Especially since the cake looked lonely. Now we add emphasis, because sometimes one reason matters more than all the others. And sometimes that reason is dessert. The phrase for, especially since, is.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
Example. I stayed longer.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
It started raining. Another silly but memorable example. I ate the whole cake.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
It looked lonely. This phrase highlights the strongest reason. Not just because, especially because. A mysterious bridge word. Here comes the slightly nerdy one. Don't worry, we'll keep it friendly and weird in a useful way. For, whereby. Use.
वो भी.
This item appears in the learning set exactly that way, so keep it as your target form here. Example. He explained the process.
वो भी.
Everyone understood the result. Think of it as a bridge linking one action to a related result. A teacher writes one idea on the board, another below it, and then draws a little logic bridge labeled.
वो भी.
Fancy? Yes. Useful? Also yes. The indecisive squirrel. Time for a bonus personality word, because grammar alone deserves a friend. That friend is a squirrel who cannot choose a nut. The word for indecisive is
અનિર્ણાયક.
Imagine a squirrel with 3 acorns, 4 opinions, and 0 progress. Example. He is
अनिर्णायक.
When choosing a restaurant. Another example. I felt.
अनिर्णायक.
Before making the final call. The opposite idea is decisive. So if you spend 40 minutes choosing tea, coffee, juice, water, or just smelling everyone else's drink, that is.
अनिर्णायक.
Mini dialogue challenge. Let's put the words into a playful scene. Listen like you're in a tiny language comedy. A. It was raining. B. Yes.
छता के.
We still went outside. A. The road was difficult. B.
ज्या के.
It was hard, we continued. A. I was cooking. B. And.
दरमियान.
A. My friend was setting the table. A. Did they clap together? B. Yes.
एक साथे.
A. The cheap plan is tempting. B.
बीजी तरफ.
The faster plan saves time. A. Why did you stay? B.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
The storm had started. A. Why are you still staring at the menu? B. I am.
अनिर्णायक.
The samosas are calling me, but so is the sandwich. Quick quiz, no dramatic music. Okay, your turn. I ask, you answer in your head, out loud, or with the confidence of a movie narrator. How do you say, although? Answer.
छता के.
Or.
ज्या के.
How do you say, meanwhile? Answer.
दरमियान.
How do you say, simultaneously? Answer.
एक साथे.
How do you say, on the other hand? Answer.
बीजी तरफ.
How do you say, especially since? Answer.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
How do you say, whereby? Answer.
वो भी.
How do you say, indecisive? Answer.
अनिर्णायक.
Friendly wrap up. You did great. Seriously, even if your brain feels full of tea, connectors, and one confused squirrel, that is progress. Today you practiced contrast with.
छता के.
And.
ज्या के.
Connection with.
वो भी.
Emphasis with.
ખાસ કરીને કારણ કે.
Time with.
દરમિયાન.
And.
એક સાથે.
Comparison with.
બીજી तरफ.
And description with.
અનિર્ણાયક.
Thanks for listening and learning with me. Keep practicing, say the words out loud, make your own funny sentences, and come back again soon. You've got this.